Hello guys, welcome back. So I had somebody ask me a pretty good question. They said they use my example from the Thor video. They're trying to tune into the frequency of the gods and nothing's happening. Maybe frequency is a bad example. It's just other people will say it's like you hear them in your mind's ear. Most people do not hear voices out loud. Before you panic and think this is going to be something that's going to land you in a psych ward, most people don't hear a voice out loud, and honestly I've done this so long that I can't tell you if sometimes it starts like as a nudge, not a physical nudge, don't panic, but it'll be the nudge of a thought or feeling. And I've told you guys, for the people who watch the channel a while, sometimes you don't know where it's coming from. Is it coming from you? Is it coming from just outside stimulus? Or is it coming from a god? And then if it's a god, which one is it? But, in the beginning, sometimes we have trouble communicating because we're usually told as a society that you can't communicate with the gods. And if you're communicating with the gods, you're some kind of nutcase because nobody can do it. You can't. Most people believe you can pray, believe you can do magic or whatever else. It's just the idea of getting an answer back. Seems to be your attitude. You have to believe it's possible. I don't care what else you do. If you don't believe it's possible to get an answer back, it's probably not going to work. And there are just some practical tips, like don't panic. We're going through, we went through trying times. It seems like today, I got up today and like everybody's back to normal. The news cycle's like trying to talk about normal stuff and everybody's trying to go back to normal. People realize they still got to go to work. So everybody's calming down. But while everybody was in that panic mode, most gods aren't going to be able to get through to you. The rare exception might be able to, metaphorically speaking, they're not going to do this, lean forward with a spiritual megaphone and scream into your ear, but most aren't. I've seen some people write, and it's pretty much true from the insulted communication I've got. If we're distracted by daily life, and that's okay, we're human, we have to do our due and get our shit done. Giggle smoker, we can't hear them. So if we're distracted by daily life, if we're distracted by stress or anxiety or worry, we can't hear them. And they can be jumping up and down and shouting and actually, metaphorically speaking, poking us. We can't hear them. So one thing is to be calm. You don't have to be zen calm. You don't have to be comatose. Just be calm. It's why most people will say, much to their embarrassment, once you start communicating with them, like, you sit down, and they're all over you. Even people will go in to take a shower or something, and they're very embarrassed, but and that's why they think they're crazy. They're like, I was trying to yeah. Anytime your mind slows down, anytime you are more relaxed, it's when they all seem to see the opportunity and follow you in. Wait till they start following you into the bathroom. It sounds embarrassing, but it's a thing that happens to a lot of people. And it's because you usually let go of all the other stuff you're worried about. And your mind just starts to free wander. And if you can enter that state playing a video game or just, relaxing in front of the TV or something, you might find them bothering you then too. In fact, you'll start to say stuff to other people like, I was finally trying to relax, and that's when it will happen. So you do have to be relaxed. And, there are a lot of things you can do, like we've talked about tea and coffee with them, or if you can't afford that, water, or just, inviting them in and talking to them. It doesn't matter if you're hearing stuff at first, because I know what that sounds like. Some people never do. Some people go for their whole lifetime and they never hear something. It doesn't mean the gods don't love them or aren't taking care of them. It just means that as far as hearing some kind of communication back, they don't hear it. Now, maybe if they did pendulum work, or they did tarot, or they did Ouija board, or they did something else, that would work for them. Some people do coffee, some people do bibliomancy, some people do music, like turning on the radio. Some people will ask a question, and it's an ancient Greek thing, actually. You ask a question, you kind of, some way, cover up your ears, like put in, say, earbuds, and then go to a place with people, and you would take it out. And the first thing you would hear would be your answer. So there are all sorts of ways to do this if you never do establish communication. Um, and the thing is, it's okay if you don't, because in general, the gods will find a way to get an answer to us. I know it sounds boring, but it doesn't quite work like those Hollywood movies where they show up in the physical and they spend the rest of your life with you or they take you on an adventure. It doesn't work like that, and I think that hurts us because we'll be praying and praying and praying on something, or casting and casting and casting, and we're not getting an answer back. We got our answer. You get yes, no, or wait. I think the fact that we can actually get no or wait as an answer confuses us, and sometimes you don't know the answer you got because you're not sure, but you'll find out, as time passes, you'll figure out which answer you got. It's a thing where it just takes time. As I've told you guys before, you can do a visualization for before bed. It's taken people over a year to do that, so don't expect that, don't get frustrated or mad if it doesn't work, like you do it one night and you wake up the next day and you're like, well, it didn't work. She lied to me. I didn't lie to you. You're trying to undo all the programming you had all your life that told you you can't communicate with gods and you can't hear them and can't, communicate with them. It's a thing where you're going to, as you lay down, don't try to do this while you're doing like 50 other things, because a lot of people tend to leave everything right to bedtime and then do it all. Don't try it then, because it's not going to work. Get into bed. And after you get everything else out of the way and everybody's going to leave you alone and your phone's shut off and everything else, imagine talking to the god you want to talk to. Let's use Loki as an example. And again, yeah. Imagine talking to him and imagine a question. And you're going to imagine asking him that question. You're going to imagine his response. And then you can invite him if you'd like to come talk to you in a dream. After that, it's okay. You can keep imagining the conversation. And yes, at first, this is imagination. This is imagination at first. But does open the door to communication. And what some people get afraid of is, did my imagination just take over? I'm talking to my imagination. Well, that's what we call faith. But it does seem to open the door. And you'll know it's them because they'll just start saying things and they'll know things that you wouldn't know. And it's not some hidden part of your psyche or something else. It's the gods communicating. In general, a lot of times they're going to just communicate anyways in ways that make sense to us, or ways that work. I couldn't really tell you, since, I've been doing it so long, how it starts out, but like I said, it often starts out like a feeling of a nudge, or you'll hear a song or something, or you'll just ask a question out loud. Whether or not anyone actually hears them speak to them, people have always had it up for debate, even people that feel we get communication. It could just be our human mind interpreting what they're doing into language. Some people say they don't speak in any language, which is why we can communicate with them globally. And we just translate whatever they're sending to us, whatever little packet or whatever you want to think of it as they're sending to us, into something we can see. Some people don't get words, they get images, they get music, they get something else. And you're not going crazy, I swear. It's just communication. If you're going to try to communicate with anyone, you're usually going to get something back. So if you are getting something back, if you're not getting words back, if you're getting images back, if you're getting sounds back, if you're getting, I don't know, colors, anything back, that is communication. Not everybody communicates in the same way, and no way is superior to another. We're used to language, and maybe that's why my brain works that way. But sometimes a song will pop into my head, or a scent, I'll think about a scent, or just a random thought will pop up there. And it'll be like, oh, that's communication. And who sent it? Or if it even has to do with a god, sometimes I'm not sure. So I will tell you guys sometimes, hey, this weird thought popped into my head, or I had this weird dream, and there you go. So I hope that helped, but it's a thing of, it's going to take skill. You probably had it as a child. I think we're all born with it. But it's going to take, it's going to take time to develop it, and it's going to take faith to develop it. Don't keep telling your friends or your family members or people on the internet that don't believe you can do this, that you're trying to do it, because they're just going to keep setting you back to square one. They could take the person that has the best communication and try to dismantle them. And they will. They will. There are people that are so atheistic that they actually make a career out of it. And, and we all know famous atheists that make a career out of going around trying to destroy other people's faith. Don't be with those people. If you can't avoid them, minimize contact. It's like trying to be a doctor if you live in a family full of people that think science and medicine is magical woo and will never work and will never catch on. You can't thrive in a really hostile environment. And some people can, but you're probably not going to be able to. So, you don't have to tell people you're trying this. You don't have to tell people. And the thing is, once you get it, you'll realize it helps. It's fun to do, but it's not quite the magical answer we think it's going to be. We think, oh boy, once I open up communication, my life's going to get so much better. No, you still have challenges. You still have opportunity to grow. You still have daily life to do. As life is getting back to normal now, for example, people are realizing, oh, I still got to do that census thing. I still got to pay taxes. I shouldn't have said to my boss what I said last week, but I thought we were all dying. Yeah, people are starting to realize life is already back to normal. The news cycle's finally gotten bored with their new toy. They've dropped it. They're going back to normal news cycle. So it's just, it's human life. So I hope that helped. And if you guys will like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.